What's up? I'm Anna Sofia, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Congratulations with the new EP. This is your sophomore EP, and I don't know where you came from, but I'm kind of really digging your sound. So talk to me about Broken Perfection EP and just the creative process behind it.
Well, Broken Perfection EP was it was weird because it's a mix of music that I've done a long time ago, and music that I've recently wrote. So there was a long period of time for planning this EP. So I'm very relieved that it's finally out. The process, honestly, we had an idea before we were about to write the new EP, and I knew that I wanted to I was very inspired by a funk vibe. I was super inspired by Michael Jackson's Off the Wall album. So I was man, I gotta do something like this. This will be so fun to write. So that was the thought process before I started going into the EP. And then as soon as we just started writing, it was okay, let's explore as much funk as we can. And then that's just how it came about, and it just worked so well. And all the people that I worked with were so down to collaborate with the funk idea. So yeah, it was amazing. And I'm so relieved that it's out because I was just sitting on this music for so long, and I was so excited to put it out. And now that it's finally out is amazing. And I've gotten so much great feedback, so I could not be happier.
So the fact that it was both new and old material, what do you think it was about that old material that was still somewhat timeless for you to still be able to release?
I think, well, it wasn't too old. It was old as I had started writing it right after the Self-Aware EP. But I just knew, usually I sit on a lot of music because I need to find the right time for it to come out. I love so many songs that I have unreleased yet still, and I'm dying to put it out, but I need to wait for the perfect moment. So I think that's why it was just there wasn't a perfect moment yet. And so as soon as that perfect moment came and everything just went all together, I was all right, go into the world.
As you release this EP, there's a couple of tracks that kind of stand out to me. Don't Play Pretend is one of them. Can you talk to me about this track in particular? And I feel like this is, I mean, you did release it as a lead, but I feel like this is that, when you promote an EP and someone's or an album and someone's what should I listen to? I feel like this is the one that you just directly go to. But talk to me about the creative process of this track in particular.
Well, this one was I was just a huge mess that week. Usually I am always a mess. This was just 10 times worse. So basically the whole idea behind Don't Play Pretend is the fact that my whole life is a mess. I don't know how to organize myself. I always tell myself, okay, I'm gonna be super organized, even for school, because a lot of my music is about high school. So a lot of the times every single year I'm all right, I'm gonna focus in school so much. I'm gonna be so organized, and a week into school that never carries on. So that's the idea behind Don't Play Pretend itself, was the kind of I'm a huge mess idea. I honestly don't know how that one came about. It was just so natural that the lyrics just flowed out of my mouth right when that guitar line came, and then I just started singing it just I like my days with the little rain. That just came out so naturally. So I think that was the beauty about that song, and that's why I wanted to make it that focus track, just because it literally just felt so natural to me.
The other track that stuck out to me was Either Way, and that was completely opposite from this song in particular, because it's more of a piano ballad, and at the same time we get to really focus and pay attention to your delicate voice on this track. So the fact that you were recording this song knowing that the focus was your voice, how nerve-wracking was that for you in the studio?
Well, like every song, I usually come in clueless. I don't know what's about to happen that day. So when I got in there, I worked on this song with Jeff Kleiman and Jeff Hazen, who was on like every track. But Jeff Kleiman, who literally works with like Frank Ocean and Beyonce. So I went in a little bit like I, wow, like what am I? Why am I even here? Like what did I do to deserve this? So I get in there and I'm like freaking out already. And so he's like, "What do you think? Like, what do you want to do?" And I was like, "I don't know." So he just gets on the piano. This was another one of those like natural things. And he just gets on the piano and I just start singing this like melody. And we were all like, "Oh my God, we have to go with that." So then I remember that day I loved recording it. Like I loved the way it sounded, but it wasn't on like a mic that we could like it was just like a rough idea to like remember the song for like when I actually record it. And then the day I go and record it for real, I hate it. I'm like, what's going on? Like, why don't I sound like that today? Like, and it was like a month later. So it took me so many like tries just to make it like as perfect. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna like not think about it. So then this was like after a million tries. I was like, I'm just gonna not think about it and just like do it. So I did it and it worked out. Thank God like that clicked in my mind because I was stressing out like all like it was like all day. I was trying to figure out how to like make it sound like the one before. So yeah, it was like a very natural, beautiful song that just like flowed out of me and flowed out of Jeff. It was just like it came together so well. But the recording process of that was a pain. I hated it until that clicked in my mind just to like relax and just do it and don't care.
Would you say that that was like your most difficult song or challenging song on the EP?
Yeah, it was. It was actually very challenging. We couldn't figure out what parts were which. So we knew we had a verse, but then we were like, the lost in your head part, we were like, what is that? Like, is that going to be like a chorus? Like it's not like a like it's not like that verse chorus kind of setup in that song. And so I was like trying to figure out like what pieces fit in where. um so that was very hard. The planning aspect of it was very difficult just because we wanted to make it perfect and we just wanted to make it like as good as possible, and just trying to fit them into like their places was really difficult. um I remember like sitting on the piano and like singing the song, and then I wrote another verse, and then I sent it, and they're like, "I don't think we need that." And I was like, damn it, okay. So yeah, that one was the hardest for sure on the EP to write.
How do you feel like you got challenged with this EP, like especially with the writing process? Because one, it's kind of amazing that you released two EPs within 6 months apart, um, and this is like your debut. It's like your introduction. So the fact
Mhm.
that you kind of laid so many songs out at once, I feel like that's kind of scary for a new artist. But what was that writing evolution like for you as you were kind of creating these EPs?
I think I definitely wasn't nervous to put this out just because I feel like the evolution from the first EP and the second EP, personally, I hear and see myself like from the first EP, like I've grown to the second EP. Like the first EP was a little introduction. That was me starting to get comfortable in my space, comfortable with the people I work with. That was like that was when I got signed, first time I ever worked with writers and different things like that. So that was scary for me, first EP. I was very shy. I'm not one to like express my feelings a lot. So trying to express my feelings to people I didn't know was like really terrifying. Um, so I think from like the first EP to the second EP is just like a sign of growth, in my opinion. Like I feel like I've really found who I am, and like to anyone who listens to this, like this will be like Broken Perfection EP will be like more of what my sound is like going on, because like that to me this EP is like where I found myself and like where I stand my ground.
Listening to the EP and then looking at, the promo that kind of went along with it, I feel like you are pretty much on top of like all visuals as well. So talk to me about that cover art and like the idea behind the broken doll, because that was really cool. But like, how involved are you in that creative process as well?
So this is funny because like I'm really involved with it, that it's like some people are like, hey, lay off of it, like go. So I'm super involved in my creative, like that EP. This is funny. So that EP cover was like my baby from like first EP. Like that, I already knew that was it. I was like, I'm gonna
Wow.
be a Brooklyn doll in the second EP. That was like, and like I remember just telling everyone like don't come up with any other ideas. Don't show me other ideas. That's it. I need to do it. So we did it because I would have like cried forever if we didn't. Um, but it worked out so well. So basically, the idea behind it is I wanted to take Broken Perfection and like visually show it. And it's so literal. Like when you think of a doll, dolls are supposed to be perfect. They're like that perfect figure. They have a perfect face, perfect skin, and whatnot. So I wanted to take a doll and break it, basically. Like that's it. I literally just took a perfect doll face and broke it. So that was the idea behind it, and it was just to literally show my perspective on broken perfection. And I just thought it would work so well with the doll because dolls are supposedly perfect.
That's incredible. I mean, you for again for being such a new artist and young artist, I feel like you have put together. Like I feel like that's so difficult. So many artists, today are still kind of trying to discover, who they are as an artist or what their sound is going to be like. But you seem like you got your head straight on. Um, Now that this second EP just dropped, what can fans expect, moving forward for you? Because I feel like there's so much more coming out of you.
Um, Definitely another EP, an album, for sure, an album. I'm dying to get out there again and do some live shows. So hopefully I can give everyone as many live shows as I can in person, like around all this stuff. There's going to be a lot of more creative content coming out. We've like really dug into taking the music that we've put out and do some cool creative stuff with it that like is kind of out of the box. And one last thing is merch. Merch is coming so soon, so I'm very excited for that. Also, merch, I stayed up till like 3 in the morning trying to plan my merch. I'm like obsessed with merchandise, so that was a big one as well.
I feel like you're gonna be rocking your own merch every
I
day.
will for sure. I love just planning merch and everything like that.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations with Broken Perfection. I definitely look forward to doing this again, and hopefully, by the time a new EP or an album is out, we'll be doing this in person or in the studio because I feel like
Yes,
there's
I
so
hope
much more
so.
that you could talk about.